Often we have no idea how annoying we are. I'm sure I'm one of these people who inadvertently annoy people. I've been watching UK column on Millennial, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. There's just something really indescribably annoying about watching three men, smug in their cleverness, proudly proclaiming their victimhood, and it's both boring and irritating. I had heard of them before. I did know somebody. Well, I'm still his Facebook friend, and he was always saying, "Don't interrupt me. I'm watching UK column." I think that was about, lunchtime or something. And I mean, it's not that I don't know men of a certain age, and I know their habits and what they like and what they talk about, and but occasionally I can see through the lens of, oh, I don't know, the eyes of lefties, young women, frivolous women who just want to see nice things and don't want to be ever bothered by, technical stuff, that men of a certain age who are smug about their cleverness just cannot help but wanting to display before us. And so, well, I thought maybe I should listen a bit more instead of yakking away, maybe not knowing what I'm talking about. I just couldn't watch it anymore and wanted to complain. And of course, politics is about persuasion, and self knowledge should be, well, it ought to be the main ingredient of all kinds of, well, we should know how annoying we are. We should know not to test the patience of other people. Uh, People do complain about me being annoying. So I try to rein it in. I try to see myself from the eyes of people who are annoyed with me, and even now I inadvertently annoy people. It has been said that a gentleman never accidentally annoys people. What was it? A gentleman never unintentionally causes offence. I think that's the wording of it. Meaning that if he does cause offence, he means to. He's not a pleb who unintentionally causes offence by his, terrible table manners, his, dirty fingernails and that sort of thing. Hello, Matthaus, Hotzeler. You would never consider me an old bit. Well, a lot of people, speculate on my age. I could be from the first Elizabethan age, I could be Edwardian, I could be Victorian, I don't mind, as long as you listen and take heed of what I say. So, in the business of, well, I'm suddenly reminded of Aphrodite, the goddess of love and persuasion, and when really my mind is on politics and persuasion, but obviously it's helpful if you have, if you're beautiful and you're persuasive and you're sexy and you're young. But the trouble with being young and sexy is that actually people don't take you seriously. No, they don't. So, I mean, I have myself, told men who are good looking that, I would never take anything they say too seriously because well, look at them. They're far too pretty to be taken seriously. So politics is such a minefield of going wrong and saying the wrong thing and looking the wrong way. And a lot of it is also to do with grooming. And it's like, yeah, I'm one of those people who have nothing to wear. And so if you invited me out to a party, I would literally have nothing to wear. But no danger of being invited to these posh parties. I guess the only invitation I would get by with wearing something that is passably casual, smart, and probably not even that smart. But I don't know. I guess I don't care anymore. But on the question of grooming, there's so many little things that we need to watch out for, such as our haircut. We can be one of those people with really annoying haircuts, and people will just not take anything we say seriously because we have a stupid haircut, and we will have completely shot ourselves in the foot. As political activists, if we have the wrong haircut, or perhaps in the olden days, if you wore the wrong kind of shoes, that would also be the end. Too flashy clothes, wearing brown shoes in the city. And also, when you look at these, businessmen, these politicians, these practice politicians in their nice suits, and then you look at people who are maybe not comfortable in a suit, who buy a suit, from a second-hand shop, and it doesn't fit them quite right, and their collar's a bit awry. And these visual cues will make people not listen to us properly, I'm afraid. And of course, there's the additional factors of sex and race and age. And even if we're young and beautiful, there will be a certain skepticism in that, because we are so young and beautiful, we can hardly be said to know anything at all worth listening to. Hello, Howard. Thank you for your kind words. I did try to watch it, and it was just too annoying. All these men, flaunting their cleverness and their analytical skills, and I could never make myself watch UK column, and I know they've just been thrown off, or I don't know, being saying things about the vaccines, and there's something also a bit annoying about that. I know people will say, look, you've gone over to the other side, you've been double vaxxed, you're no longer our friend, we shouldn't even be talking to you. And all these things, I guess I'm agnostic. I mean, I do see that when it started, I did see that it is the female preference that is being prioritized, because a male preference would be, we'll just have to ignore it. If it gets us, it gets us, and if we die, we die. But life has to go on. We can't be hiding, in our homes and furloughing our staff, and anyway, there are the mortality rate is only 5%, and anyway, if you know any history at all, Europeans had suffered the bubonic plague, and I think about 20% of the European population died when they got it, and well, it didn't exactly stop the Europeans from taking over the world. So why are we fussing about these things? Are we crazy? And of course we are crazy and stupid. And this is fundamentally the problem when we allow ourselves to be ushered along, and we don't want to go, and we actually have the the option of, well, refusing to go any further, but we're just not used to it anymore, are we? We have no leadership. And I'm saying, yes, while I complain about these men, I do see that we look to leadership from men, and they can be annoying, and that's why the men can't be that old, because if they get, old, retirement age, and it's the way they talk, and it's too annoying for words. So I guess you would need a man in his 40s with a modicum of charm and charisma and, of course, principle to lead us. Unfortunately, the good-looking ones are pretty much morally vacuous, and that means we can't trust them either. But the ones who know their stuff, they're really boring and annoying and irritating, and will just annoy the hell out of everybody and trigger all the feminazis and the I guess the gay people, because I think at the moment the world is seen through the lens of women and gay people with a strong aesthetic sense. Yes, well, maybe I'm one of those, mature and sexy people too, Howard. So I suppose it's, that's a reason why we need to have children and bring them up properly. So, younger versions of ourselves carrying the memory, the model of our ideas and our opinions and our aspirations will be around to tell the next generation about how wonderful our ideas are, and pass on our wisdom, even if some of us are probably too old and too annoying to be able to persuade people effectively about the wisdom of our views and our ideas. So that is a problem of being pale, male, and stale, and it's a word, sorry, a description that I think was cooked up by ladies in the media from the BBC. And these are white middle class university educated women, and they don't particularly like their men, and I suppose they find gay men more what's the word? I mean, why do women sometimes find gay men just easier to talk to, or somehow more interesting than straight white men of a certain age and their fussiness and their their hobbies and stuff? So there are so many choices of company and people and manner and presentations that obviously, if we want to propagate our message successfully, we will have to take that into account. And I suppose we should take greater care about how we speak, how we look, how we dress, how the standards of grooming, do we have dirty fingernails? Do we need a haircut? Does our hair, need fixing in some way? It's very difficult to get it just right, even with the best will in the world. Purse puppies. That's a new one for me. Yes, gay men become high status pets for a certain class of women. Because they're there to entertain the women who have money, I suppose. I guess in the olden days they would have what they'd have they go to their dancing classes, and then they'd have, well, their dance master, I suppose. And I guess you'd have to be quite good with the ladies. You have to move nicely, and the ladies would like you, and you can teach them dancing, and then maybe you become the women of the lovers of these women. And I guess the modern version of it would be the tennis coach. That's a that would be a kind of high status male pet for a certain class of women, because I suppose men of their class and age would be, well, they would be their husband, and these women just probably don't want to, they live with their husbands already. They don't want to be socializing with them some more. So I guess they'd be choosing men who are completely different to their husbands, and and they would choose gay men, and gay men can be quite entertaining. Those of you who have subscribe to Vincent Bruno's channel, and do you know him? He just been streaming today, and yes, Vincent is a very interesting character, because not only is he gaily married, he has all kinds of interesting projects to do with breeding people the homosexual way. So he has this idea of, um, well, surrogacy would be, for gay men, the most obvious way of having children. But he was thinking, no, we can impregnate straight women, get these straight women to look after our children without having to live with them because they're so annoying, and we can, sire children too, and because we're so good looking, it's eugenic, or something of that nature. It will be very high maintenance, because obviously, you know, the whole point of families is that you get all these people that are related to each other by blood, man only having sex with woman, and they're married and they've got children, and so it would make sense for this grouping of adults and children to stay together. But for the loose groupings of people that Vincent Bruno had in mind of, being able to enable gay men to have children, he, well, it'll be quite high maintenance for the state, and this is one of the reasons why the family is the most natural and most effective way of keeping a grouping together, and keeping them reasonably cohesive, because they're all related to each other by blood, and the generations will have something that they want from each other. Now, back to the subject of why some women prefer the company of gay men. I suppose for women it's sometimes a relief to not have to worry about giving the wrong idea to men, because often women, innocently, or maybe not so innocently, say and do things, and men get the wrong idea, and then they get angry if they don't get the sex that they were hoping for, that you were never really offering, and there could be all kinds of misunderstanding. So I suppose for some women it is just less of a hassle if the just with men who are gay, who will never, get upset with them for not having sex with them. Because I can see that, if you're in any kind of relationship, even if it's people have expectations of each other, I guess. You can have, a man could have some sort of friendship or association with another man, expecting something, and maybe he doesn't get it, and then he's going to be disappointed and angry, and, and so can the sort of thing happen with women. And I guess the thing about women, having a transactional relationship with men, is that for wealthy women and gay men, so the exchange is simply that, I suppose, that the wealthy woman would give the gay man treats, and he's an escort, and the husband doesn't mind because, he knows that this gay man isn't going to have sex with his wife, and, you know, I guess that's how it works. Correct me if I'm wrong. What are you saying? With age comes solitariness? Well, not necessarily. You can always, go around with people of your age. Because old people, they tend to go around in groups, And Howard, what are you saying? My interview with him on Karani U. Well, he's always on about these projects to change the sexual mores of society, and that's basically what he's on about. I find it quite amusing. Is it shallow or deep? That's hard to say. Well, he thinks it's deep because I guess he prides himself on having thoughts about what's the word? Transforming society using its his particular rules, and he think it will be for the better, because he thinks if men and women have sex in the particular combinations that he approves of, a better looking lot of the next generation would be produced, and this he thinks will be better for society, because I guess it'll be nice to have good looking people to look at rather than not so good looking people. And so fundamentally we are in a matriarchy, in a shallow world of people worshipping the cult of youth and beauty, to the extent that I began this stream by talking about pale, stale males who have an irritating habit of speaking and overwhelming us with facts and statistics, and just generally being annoying, and and making me think that I would rather talk to Vincent than these worthy, intelligent, elderly men with their analytical skills. But they were. I don't know. I guess fundamentally we're shallow. We just want to be amused, and if people bore us too much with their preoccupations and hurl too many statistics and ideas at us, we will just rebel, and we'll close our minds. The shutters come down, and we just look for frivolous pleasures. Is there a point to this? Is there a point to this stream? I don't even know now. I guess I got so annoyed listening to these men that I felt I had to stream and share my feelings with you. And I think I've kind of come to the end of the stream now, unless I see any interesting questions. that I can answer. I mean, I don't mean to denigrate men of a certain age or inclination, but perhaps I do. Hello, Ricardo Williams. We did have a nice chat the other day, didn't we? But I'm running out of steam. I'm supposed to be speaking with this person in New York, and he's called the Third Rail with Omar. He's a New Yorker, he's a Yemeni Muslim, and well, I hope I'm going to have a meaningful conversation with him. He found me on Politically Provoked and got in touch. He's scheduled a stream. And I'll put the link in if you're interested. I don't know how it's going to go. I've never spoken to him before. But if he's kind enough to ask me, I'll do my best to be my usual charming and entertaining self. I hope so, Ricardo. I do hope I'm moving up on the streaming ranks. So I'll finish now. Thank you all for coming to listen to me ramble on about nothing in particular. Do you really want me to do a weekly show with Elliot? Do you really? Or are you just being sarcastic? Will Jen be the grand finale? I don't know. I think she still hates me. I'd love to speak to more women, but I kind of have a rather conflicted relationship with most women. But I'm very, very happy to have met Tiffany, who is lovely, isn't she? I suppose I could ask Jen, but she'll just be so rude and so nonsensical. But maybe, I just think she's going to say no. I mean, maybe for form's sake, I'll ask her, but I just sense she'll say no. Okay, well, maybe you can say a few words to her, but she'll probably hiss and spit at you. All right. I probably need to maybe I should sort of have a little shut eye before I start the stream with this New Yorker, because when it starts, it will be 11:45 p.m. my time. Yes, it's true, relationships with crazy women can be harmful to your health. But I wonder whether it's something that we just have to put up with. Well, I have to put up with a lot of things, don't I? Really. I mean, I kind of need women to get with the program on secular Quranism, and I still think that they are key. So I'm basically saying that you men, you don't really want it, but if the women that you hope to marry, not that you hope to marry, but assuming that you were, of that, if you did have that ambition, you just have to follow these women wherever they go, um, and you'd have to put up with whatever nonsense they gave you, I suppose. So Okay, I'll stop rambling now and have a little bit of a rest. Thank you all for listening.